Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Quick shout out to my newest patrons, Bob C, John B, and OH. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. First up today, we got the data from the CPCA for Tesla China. They delivered 100.2 thousand vehicles in the month of November. This number right here is up 89% over the same time period last year, which is this orange bar, when in November 2021, Tesla delivered around 55,000 vehicles for the month. Zooming out for January to November, the first 11 months of this year, Tesla deliveries from Tesla China up 62.8% over the same period for 2021, despite all of the challenges and headwinds in Tesla China this year. COVID shutdowns, factory upgrades, supply chain issues, the list goes on and on. This figure for November is only about 12,000 vehicles less than Tesla delivered for the entirety of Q2 earlier this year. We should get the breakdown of the retail versus exports in the next few days, but it could be in the neighborhood of a 50-50 split. The previous high watermark for Tesla China deliveries for 1 month were 83.1 thousand in September, so this is a 17,000 unit beat just 2 months later. And as I said on Twitter, I hope everybody is able to take at least a few moments to appreciate what the Tesla China team has been able to do for November before getting wrapped up in the next wave of negativity. We'll touch on that negativity in a moment, but do not gloss over this fact. Tesla said their industrial supply chain localization rate, basically where they're actually getting the supplies to build these vehicles, at Shanghai has exceeded 95%. This is a big reason why Tesla is able to sell cars for lower prices comparatively in the Shanghai market, because a lot of the input costs, namely labor, are lower, but also Tesla is doing less transporting when it comes to bringing in all of the supplies to actually make the vehicles. Full disclosure, I was not able to find an official source with this data, but Ray for Tesla said that BYD's localization rate for comparison is only around 90%. Confirming the theme we've been talking about now for months, BYD is looking to sell around 10,000 vehicles in Mexico in 2023. Additionally, BYD has plans to release 2 new higher-priced luxury vehicles, potentially under different name brands, that should be making their way to the United States. It's sounding like these new BYD models would compete more closely with what Tesla has to offer in that market now, more in the luxury segment. The first of the 2 new brands, Yangwang, will launch in the first quarter, and BYD is also touting a new brand that says it'll be grounded in highly professional and personalized identities. And even if BYD, the black line in this chart, does catch Tesla in terms of pure battery electric sales sometime in 2023, it's almost like comparing Toyota to Mercedes, because BYD's vehicles are just much more affordable right now. And in the Chinese market with a slowing economy, right now consumers want more affordable vehicles. There's not much out there on this new brand, but Reuters did say the first vehicle is slated to be an off-road vehicle costing just north of $100,000. This right here is the rumor that's been going around all weekend. Tesla may cut production in December around 20%. That would take it from around 83,000 for the month down to in the neighborhood of 65,000 for the month if this was true and was sustained for the entire month. However, we have Shanghai security news saying that this rumor is false information. And from Reuters, we also have a Tesla representative saying it's also false news, but did not elaborate. For now, we just don't know. And what we should be watching in December, Tesla had between 25 and 30,000 vehicles in inventory from Shanghai leading into November. So deliver 100,000, say they produced 75,000, that would be clearing about 25,000 in that inventory, meaning at some point in December, Tesla's inventory may be gone. And we have some local analysts saying that new orders for the domestic market in China will likely normalize around 25,000 in December. Point being, over the next 4 to 5 weeks, we'll have a much better idea of what's really going on in the Chinese market. So let's just let December play out, and then we'll see once we have the data. Here we had a great tweet from The Accountant talking about the first 2 months of registrations for Tesla in Europe. So between increased exports from Shanghai and Giga Berlin continually picking up production, Europe registrations for Tesla for the first 2 months of the quarter nearly doubled up the previous record high. There's also plenty of chatter out there about Tesla's inventory rapidly growing as if it's this huge negative thing, but remember, Tesla literally told us they're going to be smoothing the delivery waves when talking about Giga Shanghai. And for inventory in North America, remember, there are some people trying to delay their order to next year for the Inflation Reduction Act, so some of those vehicles may end up in new inventory, and if you're looking, definitely check your local listings. But honestly, even if a few thousand units show up in inventory in North America here and there, it's not really that big of a deal. Tesla is just going to have to weather this little storm for December until we get to next year and the IRA kicks in. The last thing I'll say about all of this, remember, we're in the middle of a recession. We're basically in a historic time with interest rates going up faster than they have in a very long time. We have a war going on. COVID is wreaking havoc in China. The supply chains are still messed up and not back to normal. So the point being, whether it's price reductions or production cuts or new incentives, it's never going to be the end of the story for Tesla. This is just how businesses operate through business cycles, and this is just how things have gone for all of human history. So none of this should come as a surprise or catch anybody off guard, and it's not a need to panic. Alright guys, this is a last call of sorts as this CharityStars sweepstakes ends on December 12th. Yes, they're the sponsor of this video, but this is a chance for you to win a brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance. What a holiday gift that would be. If you're new, CharityStars is a fundraising platform that helps raise money for charitable causes. For this sweepstakes, your donations will benefit the Guardian Group. They prevent and disrupt sex trafficking of women and children, and this is something that Elon is very passionate about as well. You can enter in less than 60 seconds. Just head to CharityStars.com/electrified. Choose your donation level, and this should autofill, but my code electrified1000 will get you 1,000 free entries. I mean, really, what do I have to say about this car? 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, 315 miles of range, the Uber turbine wheels. I don't know about you, but I would love to start 2023 off winning this bad boy right here. So if the holidays have you in a giving mood and you want to support a great cause that Elon would be proud of and give yourself the chance to win a brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance, the link is in the description below. Best of luck. But before I just start rambling, let's move on. We have OMG Tesla sharing this image of a Model 3 that did have manufacturing plates that had the front and rear covered up. This of course is fueling speculation for that new Project Highland or the refreshed Model 3 that we should see sometime next year, but we can't really make much out from these images. The only thing I've seen people talking about is potentially a new camera around this area on the front headlights. This image does make that seem like a possibility, but for now it's still just speculation. Here we have a Reddit user that shared this image of the Tesla Semi now transformed into a Frito-Lay Cheetos Semi, all wrapped up and looking good. We also had this Twitter user sharing a video of that same Frito-Lay Tesla Semi, so have a look and a listen to these sights and sounds. And you guys know I like highlighting people that are doing valuable work. So we have the EV Universe on Twitter that put together this chart comparing the Tesla Semi to some of the competition. I was able to verify roughly 85% of the data in the chart. So I'm not going to break this down, but go ahead and pause or take a screenshot if you would like. But I just wanted you to know there are some other vehicles in this space, so it's nice to see that Tesla isn't the only one trying to make a change for the better. And of course, it's always fun to see Tesla's lead in the data. There was also a really good thread from Larry Goldberg. Full thing will be linked below. The main takeaway, and something I've been wondering now for a while, how will Tesla handle the Tesla Semi from a global standpoint? Will they export it? Will they eventually have new production overseas? Only time will tell, but Larry did do some homework and said that Asia Pacific represents a major opportunity for the Tesla Semi. For inquiring minds, this right here is a look at Asia Pacific. In 2021, the Class 7 and 8 trucking industry, there were 4.3 million units produced, with 77% of that coming from Asia Pacific. And we have NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement between Canada, United States, and Mexico, accounting for about 10% of that market share. So in 2021, the NAFTA Class 8 truck sales came in around 265,000 for the year. Now, historically, Freightliner has led the way in terms of market share, holding between 30 and 40% market share, splitting the difference, doing 35%. That's around 92,000 units per year that Freightliner has in this segment. Importantly, one of the other takeaways, there's a lot of segmentation in the semi market. So it's not like there's just the semi market and Tesla's going to aim at all of it. It's really segmented in terms of day trips or long haul trips, line haul versus vocational. So specifically, this segment the Tesla Semi is optimized for did 175,000 units in 2021 in the NAFTA region. So if you take a 20% market share of that roughly 176,000 unit market, that would be enough for Tesla to sell about 35,000 to that segment per year. But of course, it's going to take Tesla time to ramp up production. So as I've said before, they're going to sell everyone they can make for the foreseeable future. So there really is a major opportunity for the Tesla Semi in the Asia Pacific market, and it's almost by a factor of 7 relative to the NAFTA segment. So we'll see what Tesla does, but the TAM is there either way. Larry, good work. And this tweet by Jawua, who makes accessories for Teslas, the RV life future with a Tesla Semi, talking about retirement. Now, this isn't real yet, but how awesome would this be with the Tesla Semi? Definitely sign me up for something like this one day in the future. Quick update from Elon, electric cargo ships are straightforward, as are short to medium range electric aircraft. It's the long range aircraft over 1,500 miles that will take a few more years to electrify. We talked about it last week. Tesla did begin deliveries of the Model Y in Taiwan, but this is a major milestone because it's the first time vehicles made at Giga Berlin have been shipped outside of Europe. Right now in Taiwan, the long range costs $72,500 and the performance is $82,000 US. In response to Holmars asking when FSD Beta 11 will go out to the early access testers, Elon said about a week or so hopefully around Christmas. And in response to this viral tweet from Holmar showcasing Tesla's FSD in the rain, Elon said, still over 95% of people have no idea this is here. I say this all the time because anytime I ask my family and friends, what do you think about Tesla's FSD or 4680s? They say, what's that? Over the weekend, Elon ratioed the president after he said, we're building 500,000 EV charging stations across the country. Elon said, or you can just buy a Tesla, implying that the supercharger network is already built out. He added, it's worth mentioning Tesla has open sourced its charge connector and is enabling other EVs to use Tesla superchargers. Still no word on when this is going to happen in the United States. And he added, it's worth mentioning Tesla has open sourced its charge connector and is enabling other EVs to use Tesla superchargers. Speaking of the weekend, in case you missed it, Elon jumped into a Twitter Spaces and it was really incredible. To date, I've been kind of ho-hum on paying attention to what's going on with Twitter, but I'll be honest, after this going forward, I am 100% invested into watching this all unfold for many different reasons. I won't get into it now, but stay tuned because I will in the future. With that said, there's a recording of the Twitter space linked below. Elon jumps in at the 1:03 mark. I think it's worth a listen if you have the time. We have BMW starting production of the iX5 with fuel cells. Testing of this vehicle is set to begin in Q1 of 2023. BMW said they're targeting people interested in zero-emission vehicles, but can't accommodate the longer refueling times that BEVs require. I know there's a segment of people that can't charge at home overnight, but how big is this segment that BMW is apparently targeting really? A lot of this right here is preemptive, but I have to say I feel for the people over in Europe. Specifically in Switzerland, and due to the expected energy shortages here over the winter, they're saying some businesses may need to cut back on their hours and homes may only be heated up to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. In the summer months, Switzerland gets a lot of its energy from hydropower, but then in the winter it has to shift gears and rely a lot more on energy imports. And again, this hasn't happened yet, but I'm sharing it because they're saying electric vehicles may be limited to essential trips only. Today, Ford put out a new press release saying that they've officially broken ground on their new massive $6 billion battery factory in partnership with SK, and this will also serve as a new training center for around 5,000 new employees. Ford saying the training center is set to open in 2024. Ford is looking to start production of batteries in 2025, and there are 2 collective factories aiming to produce around 80 gigawatt hours of cells every year. This Blue Oval battery park will be in Kentucky, and it's set to serve both Ford and Lincoln branded vehicles in the future. Speaking of Ford, its United States sales for the month of November are down 7.8% overall from November of last year, but the good news for Ford, their battery electric vehicle segment up more than 100% compared to last year, but of course still sitting at 6,255 for the month. I did want to mention some people are getting fired up about this sketch at the Peterson Museum. Remember, this exhibit basically is all about all of the prototypes and the design iterations that all Tesla vehicles have gone through over the years, so I would not make too much of this. However, in 2020, in response to Lucas asking about the Cybertruck, is there a smaller version for Europe? He doesn't want a Model Y. Elon did say that's highly likely down the road. Last up for today, Rivian is set to get some new clean energy from a future wind farm from Apex Clean Energy. Rivian has signed a power purchase agreement to buy electricity from this proposed wind farm in Illinois. This should allow Rivian to power up to 75% of its operations by renewable energy. Should be noted, this wind farm is not expected to be open until 2024. However, Rivian did say that this agreement should also contribute to their commitment to having their adventure network and waypoints charging with 100% renewable energy. Rivian has also mentioned plans in the past to add a wind turbine on site. And don't forget, Rivian already has a solar charging yard that allows it to charge up to 72 vehicles at one time. Don't forget, check out CharityStars linked below, jump in that sweepstakes before it ends. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please like the video if you did, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.